What is good, y'all? Welcome to the newest video for the patch 1.4 tier list. I've been having a lot on my mind about this tier list, been thinking a lot about who is the actual best character in the game, and I've been playing a lot on this patch. Almost every day I've been playing, trying to see who I like more and more and who's better than I thought, and I really enjoy the game a lot now. I will say some characters got a little bit gutted more than necessary, and some of them are a little bit better than they are, and some of the nerfs didn't mean anything to some of them as well. Before we get started, I just want to say I've been wreaking havoc with Ember. So funny. I did not realize she'd be this fun, but I've been making people rage quit, making people not play the game anymore. I also fought another YouTuber on accident on an illegal map where I got to cheese them over and over again.
And that's GTA. Of course I lost! Because the guy I played, he's a Nickelodeon All Star Brawl's like YouTuber. Go check him out, give him a sub. I'll give him a sub for that. GG, but like, really, that's the first match I get in ranked is against who I would consider probably more upwards of a pro player? Oh, hell nah. So yeah, I came up across a YouTuber who actually plays this game at least at somewhat of a semi-pro level, or at least he plays fighting games at like a pro professional level. So that was my first experience for online. And I'm gonna tell you then, I didn't play another online game after that.
So that was fun. I've been having a lot of fun with different characters that I didn't really normally play, but let's get started in this tier list and let you know who's the best. Now, we have an S plus and S tier. Reason being is because there are definitely characters that are way above the others, or at least above them enough that I think that deserves his own tier. That being said, if you like El Tigre, well, he just got 2 top 8 placements, also winning this tournament at Let's Make Big Moves, and this character is still broken. He's still stupid strong. They made him a little more honest by adding end lag, but in all reality, he's still really dumb. He's a really strong character. If you aren't maining him or playing him and you want to win all the time, you like winning more than your soul character, then I would say play this character. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's pretty much the end all be all right now, outside of one other character that I think is absolutely ridiculous, but they can't keep up right now because of the ban. The only other character I can say comfortably that is up there with him, maybe 1 or 2 characters, and we've never had a character banned before. We've never had a ban until recently. Garfield cannot use his Sugar Rush. That is how good he is right now. He is so broken that if you accidentally use your Sugar Rush, you might get stuck into it permanently, and Garfield with permanent Sugar Rush is probably the best character in the game. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, I have accidentally done it online. The characters right here are going to be like the Falco and the Fox of these games, and I really think that these two are the top. I'm going to stay at the top of the echelon of characters, but I will say there are some other characters creeping in. Honestly, every poll I've done, everybody still thinks Garfield's amazing. I still think Garfield's really good. The fact that he's the only character that cannot use a move because it's so broken, it gets him the infinite, and he's infinitely broken at that point. It's so good that I almost put a banned tier, because we've never had a character completely banned. El Tigre, same thing. He's got amazing moves. He's got shine, just like Garfield does. Their advantage state is ridiculous. Both these characters' advantages are broken. Now, if we didn't have Garfield's broken thing, he would definitely be below, or at least bottom of S plus. In some tournaments, he's banned, and in some tournaments, he can't even use his Sugar Rush at all because of the risk of having the glitch and then obviously having to redo the game. If the infinite glitch isn't there, obviously El Tigre is above Garfield, but Garfield's there because he's the only character that's had something so broken that it can't be used. Moving on to other characters that I think are stupid, ridiculously broken. I actually think Danny Phantom is still really good, to the point where the player base actually is learning how to play this character to a degree where they're camping a lot more and they're playing a lot more obnoxious. He runs away more than KORRA, which is surprising because all KORRAs do is run away. Danny Phantoms, they run away too, but they have a projectile to back up the fact that they can just engage whenever they want. They have a laser, essentially, a Falco laser, where they can just approach whenever they feel like it, and if you shield too long or you shield incorrectly, you're gonna get popped up and hit, or you're gonna get grabbed. He also still has these ridiculous scream combos where he just kills you off the top of the map while just spamming that move. He doesn't have to think very much. He just pretty much throws it out there and doesn't have to do anything intelligent to actually get the kill. He's a spamming character, and I feel like if you really like spamming and you really like being able to do what you want to do, Danny Phantom's pretty up there for me. I think he's pretty ridiculous. Now let's go for some low tiers to mix it up a little bit. We all know, I mean, Nigel has to play too perfect, and it's not worth it for him in this meta. I think the fact that they just barely added a hitbox onto his up special when he lands, it's not even a good up special either. Like, it doesn't do anything. Canceling out of it doesn't really matter. The landing hitbox doesn't matter, and a lot of things he does really get stuffed out. You can just really camp him if you camp him and run away to get high percent. I mean, he's light enough where he just dies. He has some cool things about him that I don't really care to explain too much because, I mean, this character to me, he's a disappointment. I still think he's good. All these characters, regardless of where I place them in the tier, you're still able to pick them up and play viably with them. It's just gonna be a lot harder with Nigel to be good with him. you're kind of wasting your time almost by making a commitment to Nigel, because there's not really a whole entire meta behind how good he is. He's kind of not in the meta at all. And when I do fight him in the meta or see good players with him, they have to work so much harder than, let's say, El Tigre, who just has like these combos that he just does automatically off rip anyway. Another character that I think is actually better than I thought, Ember might actually be bottom of A tier, but definitely a B tier right now in my mind. I'm kind of like fighting with myself over it because I've been spamming her a lot. She is such a fun mid tier, and honestly, I think she could be at the bottom of A. I'll have to see how I feel over time, but I've been playing her so much and making people quit because she has such ridiculous moves that if you just play her like Pyra from Smash Ultimate, you kind of play her like a Cloud almost, and that character is ridiculous. She also has empowered moves that she can use. She's got like a huge ghost laser that's basically like Danny Phantom's ×2, and you can empower it, which completely stuffs out the characters. If they have to jump at any point, they will get hit by it and they'll die. They have to air dodge it. And then at that point, you can just go out there and dunk them, or you can just hit them one more time, and then a lot of the characters can't make it back because their recovers are really weak. I think Ember is actually super fun. I love this character so much, and I actually saw her gameplay a little bit at Let's Make Big Moves, and I think that this character is really interesting. I think that if you wanted to play a fun character and you want to have fun with this game, Ember is the way to go. She is so fun, and honestly, she might even be the bottom of A just because of the fact that she's got some good spacing tools, but she's a little laggy, so you got to be sure that if you hit your move, you hit it. But if you know you're going to miss, you're going to have to cancel out of it and reset neutral. Now, another character that I think is a little bit better than I thought, and I've played them a little more since the changes, even though Gur is getting messed with and getting changed, I think that Zim is still not that bad as what I thought he was. He's definitely not the best, but he's sort of more of a mid tier that has to work kind of harder to catch up to the rest of everybody else. That laser solar beam he has is ridiculous. That move by itself actually has some insane use, but it's only in very small amounts. Like, you can only ever use it in certain situations. It's not a good get off me tool. A lot of his stuff is really slow, but his nair is really fast. I really like some of his moves. I like the little pig down smash and he has in the air, the down charge, and he's got a lot of things that I think are a little bit needing a bit of a tuning, but he's still got what he's got. He has a good kit, but if they make it too good and he make it have too much hit stun, he will be ridiculously broken. I think that's why he's not as good as he could be. KORRA, I think she's right underneath Danny Phantom. Reason why I'm putting her up so high is not even just because of the character, but because of how people are playing this character. If this character is pushed to the extent that she can be pushed, I think that she can really go out of her way to kill you off the side of the map whenever she feels like it. She can follow you pretty much wherever she wants because of how fast she can be. The only thing that I'm a little not sure of is her recovery, but at the end of the day, if you understand how her recovery works, it really isn't that bad of a recovery. Same thing with Ember. KORRA is very linear, very horizontal, has to do the same exact recovery essentially all the time, and they barely let her mix up from ledge. So I don't think that she's the pinnacle of every character. I still think that the way that people play her is so hard to deal with that it's kind of justified to me to have her up here, because she's a runaway character, and those characters are really hard to deal with when they get the combos going. She's got some free stupid combos that she can just do out of nowhere, and her grab being a little bit longer than everybody else's makes it so that she can just kind of grab when she feels like it, and she outranges some other characters when you're trying to grab her. If she's a little bit spaced away from you, she'll grab you instead. So I think that this stuff about her is kind of ridiculous. These two characters right here in the S tier, I think that they're right below El Tigre and Garfield, but the reason why they're right there is because they don't have the tools that El Tigre and Garfield have. They don't have a reflector. They have to hit the moves with a charge move. They have to respect projectiles, whereas these other two characters above them don't have to. How the mighty have fallen. Azula may be right around Ember at bottom of A. To be honest, I don't think anybody plays this character as much as they used to anymore, and they definitely don't go as hard as they used to because she is getting the nerf hammer over and over and over again. As you guys saw in the last tier list that I did, this is patch 1.4 with the nerfs coming out again. Another nerf to her projectile for no reason. She's just kind of getting the bat to her knees. There's no reason for her to really be viable as she is. She might even be a B tier at some point if they keep nerfing her, because really she's going to be at the bottom of A. I'm not going to put her any higher than that because honestly, not only do they have the same cookie cutter combos, their creativity has just been kind of gutted. They can't really do anything unique and different. They can't really have the expression that a lot of the other characters have, and it's because they keep making it harder to be an Azula main. If you're maining this character, there's a better character out there, and I think it's April O'Neil. Now, April O'Neil is above these two, reason being because I have fought some of the best Aprils in the world recently, and I don't even know how this happened, but I've been fighting a lot more Aprils that are amazing. I've seen a lot of footage of April O'Neil's, and honestly, she feels impossible to deal with. Like, I know I main her, but I don't play her as perfectly as the people who are good with her. From NASB 1 to now, the people who mained her are amazingly broken with her. They do some guaranteed combos, some guaranteed stuff that you cannot get out of, and you have to respect her. Her range, her mobility, ability, her regrabs, even just her nair. The game plays for her. If you ever want to play a character that feels very free-flowing and you have a lot of expression to do what you want to do and express who you are as a main of this character, you can do a lot of things, but it falls down the category of like a Sheik. April O'Neil is probably one of the more broken characters that I didn't even realize was that broken until I started doing the Ditto, and then I tried fighting them with other characters. And I will say that a character that spooked me a lot and I realized they're good is gotta be Gertie. Gertie actually is ridiculous. No one cares that her recovery sucks because she's got these other moves that help her. Her heavy attacks in the air, her heavy charges help her get back. And not only that, she's got 2 different ones to use to get back. And on top of that, she's got a grapple to ledge. She's got guaranteed knee combos, guaranteed edge guards. She has soft knee, almost like Captain Falcon. Probably one of the best burst characters in the game in terms of getting on fire. If she's on fire on you, you're dead. Like if she gets anywhere near your stock at certain percents, she would just blow you up. I fought a lot of good Gerties and I didn't want to accept that she was great until I started playing her and I realized the people that I was fighting that were really good with April O'Neil, they were losing stocks to my Gertie. It was so close fighting them with my Gertie, and I don't even have experience with Gertie like that. I straight up think that Gertie's actually so much better than I thought, that she can actually be one of the better characters in the game. She's got to be on point like Captain Falcon, but she's got such different tools and she's got camping abilities in tandem with her good throws that I think that she's a really good character to pick up if you wanted to play a character that is ridiculous and has a lot of movement and bursts. She seems so fast. Every time I played her, I feel like I can't control how fast she is. She is so quick. That's what landed Gertie in the S tier for me. I will say, I think Patrick is kind of ridiculous. I think that he had a lot of changes that happened to him, but he's still pretty broken in a sense that he is the best grappler in the game. If this character gets you, he can literally jump off the map and kill himself with you, and he wins. He wins. This happened to me at a tournament, and I didn't want to accept that this character was so broken because they had patched him over and over again. Every time he dunks you, he will win because he's throwing you down and he survives until after you die. So basically, if he's got a stock lead, you are always going to lose if he grabs you. Not a lot of people do that strategy as much anymore, but they should, because if they get that grab and nobody's ready for it, or you're not ready for it and you can't get out of it, you will lose the stock and you'll lose the game. Honestly, this character reminds me a lot of like Chrom's up special, where if you get hit by it before that patch came out where Chrom lost the interaction, right? He'll die first. Well, in this game, Patrick does not die first. I didn't think that that's how it would work, but after going to tournaments and getting hit with this move, I realized that you can never let Patrick have a lead ever. You can never let him get in on you, and you can never let him do things because he's got his neutral charge, which is broken as hell, and he's got a lot of other things in his kit that are still broken. These nerfs really didn't do anything to stop him. I think he's still ridiculous. Plankton. Plankton is ridiculous. He might actually be A tier, and the reason why I'm putting him right here is just because I know for a fact in my heart that he could be, but I have to play it safe and put him in the mid tier on B. Reason being is because I know that he's got what it takes to win, and he can just play really, really lame by ledge, really, really campy. He can just run away and try to just cheese you with his back throw or whatever that throw is that throws you down, and then try to edge guard you over and over again. If he tries to do his cheese, I feel like if you aren't aware of his cheese, or if you're not aware in the moment, he can definitely get away with a lot of stuff. Like, he definitely can do a lot of things, and I get that a lot of Plankton players are kind of upset that I keep placing him in the B tier or whatever, or lower. The thing is, he's not that bad. The only reason why he's in this is because of his size. If you beat up on him and you rush him down, he cannot do anything, and this has been proven time and time again with every single good Plankton. They are so good with him. Being good with a good character is different than being good with Plankton. Plankton is a character that if you are good with him, it's because you are abusing how Plankton should be played. But if somebody understands how Plankton plays, you're pretty much SOL. There's nothing you can do to stop what's going to happen to you. You're going to get edge guarded. You're going to get hit over and over again. They took away a lot of his recovery stuff on his heavy attacks and things like that. You can only do his heavy neutral recovery one time. So it's kind of lackluster in his recovery. He needs a little bit of help in that department. I mean, they keep making it so that he can't recover. Like when his up air comes out, he goes up a little bit more and more, right? But he can only use it twice. So they limited how he can recover because they don't want him to be good. But if they did make him any better, he would be broken. Just like Ember. Spongebob. Spongebob is probably going to be lower on A. I mean, he's definitely above Azula in my mind, at least right now, just because Azula, she has no expression anymore. She kind of just feels like a gutted character. She's probably at the bottom of A. Spongebob's kind of gotten nothing changed about him. Nothing really negative to happen to him. He has reverse back air. He's got all these things he can do. His back air kills. He has a lot of moves that kill. His down tilt is disjointed and super big. Like, there's a lot of things about Spongebob that I think are ridiculous, but he's not there yet in terms of the S tier. I think that he's supposed to be an honest high tier or like a combo high tier where if he messes up, his recovery is not that great, so he'll die every time. And if he doesn't sweet spot the ledge, he definitely just gets like gimped or killed real easy. And they're always going to side special back. They're always going to up special back the same exact way. So you can challenge them in different ways or literally just edge hog them and not even move to the ledge, and they'll just lose their stock because they can't do anything about it unless they cancel out of it. That being said, Spongebob's got some ridiculously good matchups on heavies, so if a lot of characters get comboed by him, example for everybody below him, he can combo them really badly. If you don't have a good disadvantage or a way to get out of disadvantage, Spongebob kind of runs away with everything. He can kind of run away with the game. He can camp. He's got projectiles. I think that's a huge thing for him, especially being able to do the empowered projectile. I think that is a little ridiculous. The more you play the game, I think the more Spongebobs you run into that are good, but he's not really going to be the end all be all. He's like the Mario of this game. He's supposed to be good, maybe top 15, top 20, right? But not like the top echelon because of his stubby range and his lack of being able to go in on you at any point. He has to actually play a pretty patient game, and he has to throw out moves that may or may not hit you, and he gets punished for them pretty badly if he outspaces them or doesn't space them correctly. Jenny actually got the help that she needs. I think she is better than everyone here. I think that she is actually probably right below Plankton. The reason being, she got a lot of help in this recent patch on 1.4. A lot of people are playing her again, and I have played her. I really like how she works, but I've noticed that the way I play her is different. A lot of people don't actually combo with her. They try to just camp, which is sort of a problem with the community of Jenny players, not really so much the character. I think at the max level, this character could probably be at the bottom of A tier. But what I've seen, I'm not super impressed because she's pretty predictable. Her up special, they try to mix up, but in reality, the up special is not that great. It's like her little flying move. She can't really get away with a lot of things that other characters can. She doesn't have these guaranteed broken combos like a lot of other things. Like a lot of other characters have some broken stuff about them. That's the only thing holding her back. I feel like this character would be actually nuts, and I really like her. So time will tell if they keep buffing her, but I think that she's in a place where she can be buffed still and be good, but she can be ridiculous, sort of like these other three, Plankton, Jenny, and Ember. If they get buffed too much, they will be the upper echelon and be broken. So it's kind of like a game you're playing, a little mini game of buffing and nerfing and trying to find where they land. I think that they're B tier for right now. Obviously, Reptar is still stupid. Reptar's still broken. He doesn't even have to use slime combos to like do anything combo related. He can just combo you naturally. The character is a little ridiculous. He also has the ability to just do what he wants when he feels like it. I definitely think he's above Spongebob, and because of his range, ridiculous. His moves are ridiculous. His option select is also stupid because you can just sit on burst forever and not even have to use slime cancel moves because you literally will survive forever anyway. I have tried to kill a lot of Reptars and they'll live to like 220, which is ridiculous. That being said though, he is combo food just like every other heavy in the game, so he's not the best grappler. He's not the best in certain things because he's so big, but if he was smaller, he'd be stupid, which is why they made him so big. And I think that his combos and having guaranteed setups into the same exact moves over and over again make him a good character to the point where you're never going to really see the characters below him giving him too much of trouble outside of maybe Spongebob, because Spongebob can combo him. Like I said, he's combo food, so Spongebob is like the one character I would say that he's probably gonna have a hard time with the list below him. I have beaten a lot of Reptars with Ember as well, a lot of really good Reptars too, and I'm confused because it's probably mostly like matchup inexperience. That matchup inexperience, if you're playing Reptar, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know every single matchup. You have to know what they do and what their ranges are. You have to know everything to be able to be a successful Reptar main, because if you're playing him, you gotta be on your resources. You have to know when it's good to use Fireball. You have to know when you have it, and you have to be able to know when you're spamming, because if you're spamming too much, you get predictable. This is gonna be a hot take. I actually think that Aang is stupid, okay? Now let me explain why I think he's stupid. He's the only character with that many jumps that's not trash like Nigel. He is straight up a ridiculously stupid character. Everything I said about KORRA being able to run away and do these dumb things where you can run away but also engage at the corners of the map and kill when you feel like it, he has an extra jump. Who cares if he's light? He's got burst. He can live to stupid amounts of unreasonable levels because he has burst, and he can also jump away. He can also recover in really unique different ways. He has the mix-ups it takes to be a good character. Not only that little air ball has a good mix-up and also a little bit of a recovery delay for him. Having the 3 jumps, like I said, is stupid, and being able to go off the map whenever he feels like and kill you at any percent if he gets you off the map is ridiculously broken. He is super strong. If you're looking for a good character to play and you want to play a character that's kind of ridiculous but has it all, he's got like the Sheik needles with the ice. He's got like all these different things with his recovery, mix-ups. He's got his kill potential off the map and his edge guarding potential. So I really think that this character is just ridiculous. ridiculous. I think that if you play him and you main him, I think you love the character so much that you won't drop him no matter what they do to him, but he definitely is up there. Main him if you're not maining him yet. Donatello. Dang, Donatello. He definitely has to be below Azula because she kind of just dirties on him. He's so slow that you can kind of just like always hit him. He's always going to throw his smoke bomb and you're always going to follow up and kick his buns, you know? There's not really much he can do to get away from everybody trying to kill him all the time. He kind of is predictable to a degree. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to be reverse his neutral special. He's going to do the same recovery every time. He's going to do the same combos every time. He's going to try to hit you with his F smash or whatever, the neutral smash on the ground. He's going to try to hit you with it. They don't really have as many guaranteed things as all the other characters that are above them, but they can kind of mess around and destroy with who's below them. I think that the character is not that bad, not that great either. I still think that he's very much above the other ones just because he can outspace them and he has huge moves, but everybody above him kind of just either outpaces him, out damages him, or they run away enough where he can't really do anything because he only has that one projectile and it doesn't really do much. Good character in the hands of a good main, whoever mains them, but I don't think that the character at base level by themselves is better than the rest of the cast. Angry Beavers. Now, I've been sleeping on Angry Beavers. I think that they're better than Gertie. I'm gonna be honest. I think that they're ridiculously broken to a degree. I think that they both have such a unique kits and a unique way to play that not only do they have like a confusing way to attack, right? If you try to get onto Norbert, he can swap. And if you try to get them in a predictable manner, they might play a little bit more unpredictable. Like they're kind of that bag of all tricks character that had to get nerfed a few times because they're ridiculous. I still think they're really good. The problem with me is I don't really know where they land among the S. I think that they are better than Gertie by just a tiny bit just because they can go out there and kill her, but they struggle with mobility and I feel like they struggle with characters that just don't care what they're doing, right? If your character's getting beat up, but your character turns around and just kills them, it does not matter. You have to play at a super high level like Tafar to be able to understand how they work and to be able to do the combos that I think that work the best. You have to really know them really in depth, and they're kind of like a high skill character that has these bag of trick things they can do, but you have to know when to pull them out. That's what's confusing about them. They have really good stuff, but you have to be ready for it and ready to actually do that. Lucy Loud, actually ridiculous. She's probably above these other characters, but I haven't played her enough or seen enough of them. I know she's ridiculous. I know she's really good, which is why she's above the rest of the cast. I think that she is actually up there in S tier and that she's probably going to stay up in the S tier because she is one of the characters that I haven't seen getting nerfed over and over again. But also the fact is her player base is very low on it, but she can be stopped. She does get predictable to a degree. I do think that if you get her in a spot where she's got to be predictable, you can just kill her. She's got a lot of things going for her, the 3 different modes that she can play in and the ability to literally just kind of spam and do what she wants with like the scythe and do like her up airs and do like her jab and try to do like the coffin moves and kill. She's got these things that are really good, but she gets outpaced by everybody. From what I've seen, I've played a lot of different characters into fighting Lucy, but I've never played as her, not as much at least. She's got ridiculous things about her, but I think that she could definitely stand to have a better representation. And I think that the players who play her at the best high level are probably going to put her higher. I'm just not confident in her being one of the higher characters when I fought a lot of characters who run away from me. She doesn't really run away. She doesn't have projectiles to run away. She can kind of do what she wants when she wants to, but if you have any moves that stuff her out, she's very small. And she also does not do well against range. So if you try to just like spam her out or use moves that are longer and bigger than her, she loses. Jimmy actually might be like an A tier because his moves are kind of ridiculous. Some of them kill and I didn't think they would kill me. There's been a lot of times where he has traps set up that I didn't think that would actually work. Goddard himself has so much HP that it's like not worth even trying to kill Goddard. So sometimes you have to forget about fighting Goddard and fight Jimmy and then fight Goddard. So it's like a puppeteer master. He's kind of what Zim wishes he could be. Zim could be really good, but Gur is not nearly as crazy as Jimmy's Goddard. Goddard is ridiculous only because of the fact that if you have a big brain like Jimmy, you can do some stupid things that you can't even react to if you are in hit stun. But Jimmy also has like a base set of moves, like his dash attack being so quick and his back air and forward air being kind of ridiculously interesting, but also wild. Like he has projectile, he has these things where he can also use that bubble, and if you don't have a move that's big enough to hit the bubble when he's falling down on you, you kind of just get hit. He has some things that are ridiculous, probably at the bottom of A. I don't really think he's gonna get any higher than that right now, just because he can get kind of edge guarded over and over again because his recovery is very predictable. He kind of can't do anything else unique or different when it comes to that. You can't go high, you can't go mid, because if you do, you're just gonna get bopped. He has to respect the opponent a little too much for me to consider him to be too good. That's kind of why I have him in this tier, because he doesn't have to respect anyone below him, but he has to respect everyone above him because they either outrange him or outpace him. Squidward Tentacles. This character character is really strong. The fact that they made it so that he doesn't have back air problems anymore, where the back air was setting the wrong way every single time. I noticed when I was fighting a lot of them, I was getting sent the wrong way constantly, and it messed up their combos. And I think now that they have this fix, it'll probably be a lot easier for them to do what they want. I do think that his range is a little bit ridiculous. He has the clarinet note, which is super fast and scary. If they empower that thing, it's ridiculous. You have to respect it. You cannot do anything to stop it. Even if you reflect it, it still puts you into hit stun because like it's such a meaty move that if he throws it out and you smack it back, you're like stuck. Your character is like, holy crap, I just hit that back. Like it's really takes him a little bit of a while for some reason to recover after you hit the move. So you have to just like jump away from it or run away from it. You can't really reflect it. Even if you do have a reflector like the top two characters do, they don't have to think about it as much. Whereas if I play April O'Neil, I have to hit that move, you know, or jump away from it. I cannot like risk taking it. You have to respect that move. You cannot do anything about it. He has some pretty cool combos that I do like, and I think he's interesting. I think that his range is what makes him so appealing to me, and some of his combos are ridiculous, and his recovery is very interesting. I did not expect it to also be able to hit you and to be able to combo into other things, but that's what makes him such a good character to me right now, and I think that he's actually pretty good. Ren and Stimpy, I think, are actually better than I thought. In fact, I almost wanted to put them in S because they actually are ridiculous. There's some characters that have to respect them so much because the patch 1.3, they could just do whatever they wanted out of the car. Patch 1.4, the really, really good Ren and Stimpys are not spamming car. They are spamming it only to hit you and then get combos off of it. They are pretty much a runaway hit character where if they get one hit, they can take it as far as they can. But if they don't want to engage, they don't have to because they can kind of do what they want. They can kind of get these charges up. None of them really use the counter move. I don't think a lot of people are using that as much optimally like Wario, but the characters themselves, they have some slime cancel stuff that's disgusting. I've been hit and ranked by some of the most disgusting combos I didn't even know was possible from Ren and Stimpy. They have killed me at ridiculous percents because they can go out there and just murk you whenever they feel like it too. If they get a lead and if they get a hit that sends you in a position that's terrible for your character, they'll just end it right there. They're a lot better than I thought they were, and I kind of want to put them in S tier, but I'd have to see how they go. But players who main them are actually just different. Everybody who mains them is really good. Rafael fell from grace. I think that he doesn't have to respect Spongebob, Azula, or anybody below him as much. He can kind of do what he wants. The problem with Rafael right now, to me, that up spam charge that he used to be able to do, they made it last so long it's not even worth doing it anymore. They took away a lot of his other stuff in the other patches that made him ridiculous. So he's kind of just fallen back in line, back into being a A tier, where he has short range, but he can burst you. Now, the way that Rafael's been playing, they play him in a spammy, rush down way that is really hard to deal with if your character has no get off me tools. But if you're never in those situations, it won't matter because he has no way to do anything else. He has no way to pressure you if he's not rushing you down. He has no way to do anything that's actually meaningful if you know what he's trying to do. The character himself, better than his other counterpart, obviously Donatello, but I don't think he's the upper echelon top tier anymore. He definitely fell from grace with all these nerfs he's gotten over time, and I don't see any of them anymore. Even though I fought them a lot recently, I don't see nearly as many as I used to. And they also have to play a certain way now because they have to carry the character now because he's a little bit more honest. Even though he's got some stupid stuff and things that are not honest about him, he still has the short range, so it makes up for the fact that he has to be so crazy in the moment. I think the character could stand to be maybe a little bit higher if he's played optimal, but the only thing he had going for him was really some moves that were spammable and, you know, the edge cancel, roll cancel stuff that you can no longer do. Now, this is going to be a character that I know for a fact that I love him so much, but I am scared of him. They didn't do anything to Gerald. I will say it right now, Gerald's ridiculous. I think he's the only other character that's up there in the S tier, S plus tier with the rest of the characters. Reason being, not only is he got a bag of tricks, he has got all these different moves that you got to keep track of and all these different resources that you can use at any point in time when you are fighting somebody. You can create a crazy, almost scary ground game. He's got such a big bag of tricks that he can use everything. He's got a skateboard, he's got his bike, he's got his cards, he has the baseball, he has the basketball, he's got the football. Like, he's got everything projectile wise that will make you scared of him, either to approach him or to let him get combos. He can almost basically auto combo into back airs over and over again still. He can still still do his neutral charge, that sign that he hits you with, it still kills at stupid percents. I don't know what they did to nerf him, because it doesn't feel like they nerfed him. Like, he's still ridiculous. There has been so many Geralds that I have fought that take me up to the sky now and they actually kill me, and there's some guaranteed combos they do now that kill me at dumb percents. If you get up to the sky with Gerald now, back in the day when the game first came out, he couldn't kill you, but now he kills a lot differently, that they found different routes, and the neutral charge just kills raw. If the knockback on it is still ridiculous, and I didn't really think too much of Gerald before, but now I have to respect him. Every time I fight one, he's scary because he can literally do whatever he wants. He can camp you, he can rush you down, he can combo you. He's got everything that you would want in a character that's not the two space animals. He is his own character. I don't even know who I would even allude to who he could be as a character himself. Like, I can't even think of a Smash character that would be even in reference to what Gerald is, but he is a great character. If you want to pick him up, I would not blame you, because I also had picked him up as a secondary. He's so fun, and I really think that he has such a huge amount of tools that he could definitely stand to make it as far as possible. This character's good. If you haven't played him yet, give him a shot. Last but not least, we have Rocko. Now, Rocko, to me, they've been winning a lot of slime boxes, doing a lot of good things. I don't know how they did it, Let's Make Big Moves, but I think that he's a character that actually is the other puppet character that's still good. You can no longer spam, which takes him from like an S tier, which is what he was, to an A tier at the bottom of A, because he's got to use moves that are ridiculous, but he has to actually think now. He can't just throw out a bunch of different things like Spunky. He can't throw out everything now. He can't throw out the jackhammers anymore, like 3 of them at a time. Like, he has to actually use his brain, and he actually has to trap you, and he has to try to think a little bit more than normal, because a lot of them used to not think, they used to spam. That's why you saw so many of them winning or getting far in Slimebox. You see them winning sets and you're like, why is Rocko winning? Well, it's because he had a ridiculous move set in the beginning of the game's lifespan up until patch 1.4, because this patch gutted him, put him back into a respectable place. I think that in reality, this is where he should be. Characters that are puppeteer characters like Jimmy, Rocko, and Zim, they cannot be top tier because everybody hates the game at that point, right? If there's characters that can just spam on you and never have to actually engage or think about what they're doing, that makes the game worse for everybody, and it makes it harder to play and harder to actually engage in what you want to do with said game. This game is built for longevity, so we'll see how the DLC goes. I think that the DLC will shake things up quite a bit. I've seen some leaks from Mr. Krabs. He's got like a Wario up tilt, but this is kind of where I land on the tier list right now, with Rocko being at the bottom of A, and I actually think that Azula should probably be at the bottom. I think everybody beats her up. I don't think that she's as good as I once thought, and I think everybody can agree as well that Azula is kind of not where she needs to be anymore. She's definitely falling out of grace, and these other characters that are above her simply are above her solely because of the fact that she can just get dumpstered on. She doesn't really have an expression like she used to, and they're making her slower. Her combos are more obvious. They're not day one Azula's playing her anymore, I don't believe. I think everybody has dropped them for other characters. And if you guys see the tier list right here, we have the S+, the S, the A, the B, and the C. I still think Nigel's probably one of the worst characters in the game, but he's not too far off in between. These are all maybe little tiny increments. If you guys agree with my tier list, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of what you think is broken, who you think is S+ tier, who you think is S, and so on and so forth. If you'd like to join our scene, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell button so you can see the next tier list video that I make or the next videos that I do. Soldier, we're gonna be doing this up again in the future. Maybe another 1.5 patch tier list or a 1.5 patch will be coming out soon. Hopefully, come to my live stream sometime. We'll be live streaming it up in the future. We actually are almost fully monetized thanks to you guys watching my videos, and I'm super excited to say that I'm hyped to actually be doing it up once again. Thanks for watching the video, Soldier. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Ooh, we ride.